All right, welcome. This is Freedom, and he's not ever been in a trailer except when he was shipped around the country with a whole herd of other Mustangs, and he would have been just chased and pushed into a big stock trailer. So this is his first experience going in a trailer, and given that it's a first experience, I thought it'd be great to film because it's going to show up all of the problems that any horse that doesn't want a trailer load shows up. Likely, he's a pretty clever horse, and we've done some work with teaching him to lead and teaching him to follow. But here we go. Let's see what we've got just to show you. Now I've chosen this tool, this flag, so that you can see it in action. Not I don't need you to have a flag, you can use a stick. I just like that it's a visual thing that you can see. He doesn't need to see it. He's quite calm about the flag. It doesn't bother him. It just helps me show you when I apply pressure and when I take pressure off. And that's a really nice visual for me to use. So I could lead him into the trailer. I could send him into the trailer. There's no rules. There's no perfect video that says this is how you always do everything. You got your own trailer, maybe you have a ramp. You've got all kinds of different situations, a different environment, a different horse, a different breed. All different things factor into choices you have to make. But what you'll see here is a set of principles. This trailer here is it's a fairly high step up, so it's challenging. I'm going to step up in here to start with and kind of show him what it's like. And if he goes to pull away on the lead rope now, well, that's an opportunity to teach him to yield to that halter pressure. I get him to step up towards it like this. Now, I don't want to be in here the first time he comes in here. If he's an older horse and we've done this before, that's fine. Walk right in with your horse. You don't have to send them in. But given that he's a younger horse, never been in here, I don't want to get in here while he's in here and trap myself in here. So I'm just going to expose him to the trailer before I ask him to come all the way in. I might even ask him to come a little further and check it out more. But I'm not going to leave myself vulnerable by staying in here and have him try to turn around and bump me up against the side of the trailer. Just gonna, oh, I got a little fright there. You can see the energy's up. There we go. But the most important thing is that it yields to this halter pressure here. Yeah, that's good. I like that. I want to see that over and over and over. Yield to the halter pressure here. Because if he yields to that halter pressure, then I can ask him to come a step closer, and another step closer, and another step closer, and finally he steps in. Here we go. I'm going to step out now, and instead of pulling him in, what I'm actually going to do is lead him with the left hand and drive him with the right hand with a little bit of pressure, and when he responds, that pressure comes away just like that. Lead in, drive in, pull the pressure away. And then I'll come in intermittently and just rub him with this flag so it doesn't always mean pressure. Give him a pet. All right, here we go. Lead in, drive in. He takes a step, I release. Now, I've got hay on the ground. That's from a previous trailering trip we made. That's a nice bonus for him if he wants. What I'm doing here is backing him away. And what I'll do is actually realign him. I'll reach around his shoulder here and move his tail back towards you just a little bit. And that way, when I send him back in, he has a better chance of stepping towards my goal than if he's at the wrong angle. So the position is important. Every time I see him take a step or show some signs of curiosity, like that he touched his nose on that, then I take the pressure off. Because I want feet, but I also want his brain. So if he shuts down, that doesn't do me much good. So pressure in, pressure off. Lead plus pressure plus take the pressure off. Lead plus pressure plus take the pressure off. Now, he went into the wrong position again. So I reach around the other side. Tap, tap, tap. Line him up, bring his tail back to you. Try this again. Lead, shoulder. I kind of bring my flag up to his nose and his shoulder this time to prevent him from getting closer to me. Lead plus pressure. Plus release. Good. Intermittent rubbing so he doesn't always think it's about the flag. Lead plus pressure. Ooh, thank you very much. Now we're going to speed this up because I could be here for 1,000 years taking little tiny minor steps. So the way that I speed it up is simple. I mark on the ground or inside the trailer where he gets to as a final result. For instance, if I lay my flag right here on the ground, that's the last place his front feet got to. That's the furthest I've got his front feet is on that flag right there. So I make this mental marker that I'm not going to take my pressure off just because he takes one step forward. I do that in the beginning, but as I advance, I'm only going to take the pressure off when he takes one step forward past that flag. So it'll get a little bit messier, but it'll also speed things up, and it'll be coupled with lots of rewards. So here we go. Pressure on the lead rope, pressure on the flag. He can go backwards. I just hold that pressure on the lead rope. Keep the pressure on. Sorry, you made it this far already. Now, you got just about to the same place with the flag. Just about to the same place. So I made another mental marker. Let's get past that place. I'm not just reading where I get his feet. I'm also reading how far his nose goes into the trailer. That's another marker I'm using. You got to yield that halter pressure. Yeah, this is good because he doesn't have to be this perfect horse that I say, see how easy it is? He has to be like the challenging horse where he shuts down and he gives up and he gets introverted and he stops trying. So when he does that like that and he just froze on me, I had to wake him up. Once he woke up, I pet him again to say thank you. And we start over. Thank you for the step. One more step, please. And thank you for releasing off the halter pressure. And rub, 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 rub. We still haven't made it past our threshold here. So I'm not going to give him this huge long break. I just give him a minor break because oh, look at that. Because I give him this minor break because he came off of that intense pressure that it took. And I wanted to let him know that thank you for not shutting down. I wanted to say thank you for coming back to me. So I give him that minor break and then I say, but you got to get past that threshold again. That's what I mean by speeding it up. I don't want to be here. I will be here all day if it takes all day. But I don't want to be here all day. I want him to learn something. And I want him to feel rewarded for learning something. So rather than waiting for him to take another step forward, I ask him to take another step forward. Now I've got another marker. It's right here at this rubber threshold right here on the horse trailer. That's my marker. He's got to take his feet past that, or his nose past the point where it's at now before the pressure comes off again. So here we go. Even though I'm not in front, I can talk to him with the halter. So this is a lead, and this is a drive. I push his nose back over there. So you, nose, 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 you need to go in there. Thank you. Lead, shoulder, nose, 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 nose. Thank you. There, now his foot went there, and look how far his nose stretched in that time. I like that. Pet, 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 pet. So the window of opportunity is pretty small. When he finally does make a chance, a step forward in the right direction, or stretches his neck out a little further, I'm going to give him a longer window, longer rest window, so he knows that, yeah, progress is what I want. I don't care about the trailer. I care about progress. I could take a log or a ball or any obstacle and say, move towards it and push it along or step over it. It's not actually about the obstacle. It's about, do you respond when I ask you to respond? So here we go again. I'm going to push his nose in just a little bit. Reach around here and tap his shoulder just a bit. Get his tail over there a little further. There we go. And then lead and drive. And take all the pressure off now because he's on the right track. And let him just decide what to do next. And I step out of the way. I mean, I can see him. I can poke my head around here. But he could do a number of things. He could leap forward and slide. He could run back. He could turn around and bump me, whatever. So I'm just going to hang out here with him like this and let him make the next move. And just like last time, he already doesn't look like a challenging horse because we're doing it correctly. We're applying pressure, releasing pressure, rewarding for progress, rewarding when he comes out of that introverted, nasty, frozen state of mind. And then when he does make that inch of progress, all my pressure comes off. My flag comes to the ground. I come into a neutral posture, and I give him a longer rest window. So he gets to really think about this and solve this puzzle with me rather than just be forced into this position. Lots of petting. Also, I should have said this in the beginning, but you'll notice I'm wearing gloves. I'd recommend you do as well. The tools you use, long rope, that's useful. A stick of some kind is useful. The flag is just a visual for you. I'd almost rather use a stick, to be honest. It's just a little bit less noisy and messy. But the flag is a nice visual for you. He notices it as well, but I don't want to scare him in. I want to lead him and support him. The last thing I want to do is scare him into the horse trailer with my tools, and then he's afraid of my tools. So here's a nice long rest. Here we go again. Lead. There's my signal. Now there's my support with my flag. And here's where I say, if you're trying, I'll leave you alone. But look at this. He's already gone that far. So I'll say, thank you for trying, but you've been further than this. So after, say, 10, 12 seconds, you say, go ahead and go back to where you were. And I say, again, right here, I say, thank you for trying. That was nice. When you're trying, I don't put pressure on you, but I'm going to ask you to right back in because you've been here before. And I take all the pressure off. Now, he's been here before. He's been right at this state before. He's eating, he's relaxing a little bit. That's nice. So as soon as he steps down, I'm going to send him right back in. Remember, progress is my goal. So I have this threshold that's about right here where his front feet are. I don't know if you can see my flag. His front feet, it made it to about right here. I want his front feet to go further than that. I could also measure his nose, or I could measure where his hind feet go. But what I really want him to do is make progress. So don't give him a long rest window out there. I say, please make a little bit of progress here. Or a lot of progress. Hallelujah. If you do it right, there's not a horse in the world that won't try for you. Now, he's pretty quick, granted. That was very quick for a horse that's never been taught to load into a trailer properly. And there's lots of incentive here. It's a big open space. So if he makes this kind of progress, I'm really, really, really happy about it. What I can do, now that he's been in and out, is I'll probably take him in and out once or twice more. But what I can do is I can start to close the dividers and make it more like a single load trailer rather than this big open door here. But what I'm going to do next, here's the tricky part, is ask him to come out. I'm just going to bump this rope a little bit. Let's see if he can back out. I don't know what's going to happen here. Oh, what a good boy. You made it out. Pretty scary, though. You jumped out pretty quick. So let his energy come back down. Don't need to make a great big deal of this. It's obviously dropped enough now. He's starting to eat. I can just say, now, let's try the getting out part again. So head back in, please. I lead and I drive. I lead and I drive. Yeah, there's the excitement we were looking for. I thought you might show earlier than that. Calm the energy down. Drive his nose in. When he goes in the right direction, the pressure comes off. And I say to myself, now you've been here. So try again. Good. Now you've been here before too. Yeah, good job. So try a little more. You can come out, but I'm not taking the pressure off until you're back in there. And then all the pressure comes back up. Now, is he calm enough to hook up the trailer and go for a ride? Not yet. It'd be a mess. If I tied him in there, he would be a big mess. If he wants to get out that quickly, then I'm going to have a big mess on my hands. So I'd rather teach him to get out, to unload as well as he loads, before I ever start tying him in or closing the panels in. All right, so we're going to try to come out again. I don't care if he turns around or backs out. A lot of people are afraid of that. They don't want their horse to learn how to turn around. In the beginning, I'm totally okay with it because he needs to know where his body is. He needs to feel where the limits are. He needs to be very comfortable with turning and twisting and bending. And then as he gets confident to stay in there for longer and longer periods of time, I'll start to teach him to come out the way that I want him to come out, which would be backing out. And it's easy. You just simply say, don't turn around. But he has to be calm enough to say, don't turn around. And if I try to make him not turn around there, I could get an explosive behavior. So I just let him figure that puzzle out himself. Good job, you're a good boy. Just rubbing him here. And I say to myself, thank you for trying, but we've been here before, so I want you all 4 feet in this time. And we take all the pressure off. There's a reward inside. And we'll try to come out again. We'll come out as many times as we go in, obviously, but on purpose. We're doing this on purpose, just to help him get good at both transitions in and out. So we're going to let him turn around. Oh, you still came out about 90 miles an hour, but you didn't go as far out as last time. Good job. Pretty clever. He's eating his food. That's a nice sign. Some horses are so extreme they can't even eat or think while they're in this place. But you'll notice a couple things about me that will help you. Number one, I give him breaks. But when do I give him breaks? I give him breaks when he tries, when he responds, and when he takes a step further than last time. Those are the big three breaks. If he's trying, he gets no pressure from me. If I see him like putting his nose in and being curious and expressing himself, then there's no pressure from me. If I see him come out of that state where he's like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything, and he comes off my lead rope and he responds, when I see him respond to my hand, then I say, there's another opportunity for a break. And then finally, when I see him make it past my marker, my mental marker on the ground or inside the trailer, that's the next big break. So that's number one. I give him lots of breaks at the appropriate times. Number two, I haven't moved my feet, if you've noticed. I haven't done more than he's doing. I'm a stable, I'm a rock, I'm a fence post. I'm so certain because of my position, and I'm using my hands and my tools to guide him. He has something emotionally, so to speak, to lean on. If I move around too much, I become less certain in his mind. I become more like I'm trying too hard. Whereas if I just stand here and I use my tools and I guide him, the message is more clear. The best way I can describe this is if I gave you your phone, I typed a message on your phone, and you didn't know what that message said. And I handed you your phone and I said, take your phone but go for a jog. And don't read the message until you're jogging. And then you pick up your phone while you're jogging and you can't read it because there's too much motion happening. You can't read the message because the message is moving. So I'm sending my horse a message. I need to be stable and clear so he can read that message. If I'm moving too much and trying to change positions and get around the horse and guide him over here, I become a very unclear message. And by standing my ground here, I become a very clear message, and I, coupled with rewards and timing and feel and balance, I get the results. So, let's try this again. Back in, and we'll try coming out many, many, many more times. You think, how is it possible he's loading that well in such a short amount of time? Well, remember, timing and the stable message. Timing of your rewards and your releases, and this one singular stable message. You can do this with anything. You don't have to do it at a trailer. You can stand by a ball and teach your horse to push the ball. You can stand by a log and teach your horse to jump the log. It's when you get into motion that the message becomes unclear. Now that's a very simple principle and guideline to follow. And obviously with everything, there'll be exceptions as well. But just keep that in mind. All right, here we go. We're going to try coming out again. What do you think? Ooh, you can back out. I like that. It's another option. That's okay. That's okay. That's getting a little bit better. You're very clever. You're very clever. I don't want him to ever be afraid of this flag. I want him to know that this flag is not a push tool. And the way that I teach him that is my energy and my intention. I'm not sending him any signals right now with my lead rope. My body's neutral. My expression's neutral. Now, watch this. Here's a signal, and here's my body changes into this posture of pushing. So he learns the difference between a flag that pushes and a flag that rubs him. Because now there's no signal coming from the lead rope. He learns that difference. He's got lots of opportunity to eat hay in there, check things out. If you didn't have hay in there, you can still do this. Oh, look at that. What a clever guy. It was so slow and so nice. So at this point, I think I want to teach him not to turn around. He looks comfortable enough in his own skin that I'm going to ask him to, here's the signal. Don't forget to listen to it. I'm going to ask him to go into the trailer. Oh, you almost made it. Are you going to carry on? He's looking around. He's using his nose. He's checking things out. He might just pull himself the rest of the way in. If he doesn't, I'll just say, a little further, please. A little further, please. Thank you. Now he's comfortable enough in his own skin. Oh, I'm speaking too soon. Look at that. You got a little excited in there. I'm glad I wasn't in there with him yet. So you got to make those judgment calls. I thought I could go in there. Thank you. Uh-oh, went the wrong way. I don't need you to go back in. You're welcome to go back in. Didn't need you to at that moment. But I wanted to go in there with him and teach him how to back out rather than turn around. But he's just got to get better at. He's just got to get more comfortable. Don't want him to race out like that. Don't need you to race out like that. Don't need you to race out like that. Try again. What I'm also doing here is I'm using my flag to pet him while he's in there, because that's a new experience for him. Outside, he can read my body language better. Inside, he's not sure what my body language is saying. And I want to be able to touch him and pat him and say, look, you're okay. You know what I'd like more than anything is if he could turn around and stay in. Wouldn't that be great? If you could do that, that would tell me that you're more comfortable in your skin than before. I might even be able to back him a step while he's in there. And that would tell me, ooh, maybe not. There we go. That would tell me he's responsive while he's in there. Some horses get into a position and then they become non-responsive to it, to you in that position. So here we go. You've done so good. Let's try this one. Head back in. Here's my signal with my lead rope. Signal with my lead rope. Just doing a little test here to see if I need to support with my flag. Signal with my lead rope. Yeah, it looks like I need to support with my flag just a little bit. And then there he goes. Now what I'm going to do is come back in here and pat him and rub him, love on him. Because if I'm going to get in there, I don't want him kicking at me or trying to turn around on me. I'm going to step up here like this, pat him, rub him, make sure he's not going to reach out and kick at me or do something weird. There we go. Now, I don't actually have to come in here to back him out. That's the cool thing. I can show you if the angle's right. But if I stand down here, and I take my flag, and I put it up here by his nose, and I stretch that in here by his nose, and at the same time, I pull on the lead rope. So he has two opposing forces. One saying, come backwards, but the other one saying, don't turn. Oh, it's too late for it on that one. Next time I'll try it. And I'll be able to literally back him out without stepping in there. In fact, let me show you what that looks like. I'll send him up here next to the fence. Just a little bit further, right here. And what I'd do is I'd reach in with the stick and pull on the halter at the same time, and I can teach him to back rather than turn. So I'm going to try that in the horse trailer. That way I don't get myself stuck in there the first time and have him bounce up on top of me. Good. So I'm put this flag up here like this. Whoa, I missed it. I was too late. You were already turning. That's okay. Let's hop back in. That's all right. Good. Flag up like this. Don't you turn. Don't turn. Don't turn. Don't turn. Don't turn. Don't turn. Don't turn. Too late. Too late. Too late. Try that again. I'm glad I wasn't in there with you, right? You okay? You okay? You're bouncing around in there. Come on out. I love this. See, this is 1,000 transitions. In, out, in, out. He just will get calmer and calmer the more times he goes in and the more times he goes out. He gets inside and he forgets that I'm just rubbing him with the flag. So he gets a little reactive to it. I can teach him right here. Back up. Don't turn. Good. Now go forward. Now don't turn. Don't turn. Don't turn. That's it. Back up. Hallelujah! We did it! We kind of did that early, but it was more like an accident because he didn't know how to turn around. Now that he knows how to turn around, he's got to relearn how to back out. What a good boy. What a clever boy you are. Now, if he could do that at that level again, I just might feel comfortable enough to get in there with him. So in we go. In we go. Now he's resisting a little bit. I just up my pressure just a little bit more until I see him try again. Sometimes it feels like you're going backwards, like, no, I should have quit earlier because it was so good. Trust me, if you quit early and then come back the next day and wonder why it's not better, it's because you quit too early. Don't be fooled by thinking that it's good because you got lucky once or twice, or because your horse was calm and it just happened to work. I want it to work whenever I need it to work. I need it to work when I'm out on the trail somewhere. I need it to work when I'm at home and I've got to hurry up and get to the show. I need it to work anytime. So, yeah, I reward him. You'll notice I have those 3 big rewards when we get progress. When he comes out of that introverted, frozen, stuck, I can't do it state. And when he responds to me. When he responds to me, there's a release. When he makes progress, there's a big release. When he comes out of that big state, there's a medium release. So, we could call it the small, medium, and big releases. And when do you give them? Well, you give a small release when he responds to your hand or your stick. You give him a medium release when he comes off of that state of mind where he says, I can't do anything, and he's backing up and rearing up and doing all kinds of stuff. And then you give him a big release when he makes progress. And he's made so much progress, so he gets lots of big releases. Okay, we're going to try something here. I'm going to send him in this time. I'm going to line him up again. Good. And this time, I'm confident enough in his reactions. I'm going to step in here with him. And I'm going to pat him. I'm going to pat him and pat him. And you can't see me now. But what I'm doing is standing right next to his head. And I'm going to back him up. Now that's a horse I want to go on a trip with. One last thing. When I take him out of the trailer, notice that I have him line up with the trailer and rest in that position fairly often. There's a few times where he ran out and he was facing the other way and I let him rest. But most of the time, especially if I really want to master this, when he comes out at the end of a ride, you go to the show and you get home and you take him out of the trailer, have him stand and rest in this position as if he were to go back in. And by resting in the proper position, it makes tomorrow and the next day 1,000 times easier. So he goes in from this position, he comes out and rests in this position. This is really, really cool. So here's what we're going to do next. I'm going to put that down. We're going to see if he can follow me in here. One more step. Oh, what a good boy. Lots of petting and rubbing. This is so good. He might even reach down and give you a treat. Yeah, big pile of hay for you to chew on. And then our next session, we'll start talking about closing him in, tying him in, moving the panels and closing his, so he has his own stall, and he's got to get confident with that as well. But I hope from what you saw today that we've made some really cool progress. I'm going to bring him out one last time. And if he comes out quietly, then I know I've done my job correctly. I've finished on the right place. If he stays in position, then that's reinforcement again that yes, I have finished this day in the right place mentally and emotionally. You can see he's licking and chewing, he's eating, he's confident, and he's okay with the whole thing. Is that cool or what? I'm Don Jessup. This is Mastery Horsemanship. You can catch me at masteryhorsemanship.com or on Facebook. I can't wait to see you again soon.